Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to Michael in the Morning. Today is Saturday, December 12th, 2020, and this is your second stimulus check and second stimulus package update, as well as news report. We have a lot of big updates to go over from President Trump, who signed a government shutdown bill, the government spending bill for a one-week extension to prevent a government shutdown. We also have big news from Bernie Sanders, who is saying that Congress will not go home the end of the year until a $1,200 stimulus check or some sort of stimulus check is included in the next relief package. So let's just get right in to the updates. After facing a series of delays the last couple of weeks, the Senate finally approved by voice vote a one-week temporary funding measure just yesterday on Friday afternoon. They sent it to President Trump, and President Trump signed it into a law yesterday evening on Friday. The president signed the bill, and without it, the government would have had to go into a government shutdown because the previous spending bill expired on December 11th. Now the timetable for passing a new spending bill has been pushed back a week to December 18th. So this is a one-week extension on just the government spending. So now the government has money to run for the next week. After that week, well, then the government spending bill will expire. And if something else isn't passed, well, then we'll go into a government shutdown. The Senate's move comes as Senator Bernie Sanders has been pushing to allow a second stimulus check to be included in the next relief package. He said that I'm not one of the members of the Senate who shuts down, does this or does that, and keeps people for weekends. He says, I don't do that. And basically, he was pushing to include some sort of direct stimulus payment in this next bill. He said, we have 1 week more to get a government shutdown bill passed. Now we have until December 18th. In this bill, they should also include stimulus relief measures, direct stimulus checks, the enhanced unemployment benefits. It should be all of this should be done in one package next week. But either way, Congress may vote on a bipartisan demand for another $1,200 stimulus check as lawmakers are trying to pass a stimulus bill as well as pass the federal government bill for the federal government spending bill, which will provide funding through next year, 2021, in September. U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley said they would seek a vote in the chamber on direct payments of $1,200 for adults and $500 for each dependent in legislation before Congress can go home for the year. They said that there's going to be a vote on some bill that includes $1,200 stimulus checks and $500 payments to dependents. The problem is right now is that the $908 billion bill that Congress is talking about, the one that has gotten the most support, doesn't have any stimulus checks in it. Yesterday, Bernie Sanders came out and said, in the midst of so much economic desperation, Congress cannot go on recess. They can't leave in for Christmas in a couple of weeks without providing this $1,200 emergency assistance for the American people in time when people desperately need the money. The problem right now is that a second stimulus payment has been endorsed by President Trump, passed twice by House Democrats, but was never considered or passed by Senate Republicans. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin also recently proposed a $916 billion bill that included $600 direct stimulus payments in exchange for enhanced unemployment benefits. So either way, up until this point, we don't have a bill that has both unemployment benefits and direct stimulus checks in it. It's either one or the other. But Bernie Sanders is saying that he thinks we definitely need to have direct stimulus checks in the next bill. The $908 billion bipartisan bill that's been getting the most support recently still has a couple of aspects of the bill that still need to be figured out. Senator Chris Coons, Democrat of Delaware, told reporters yesterday on Friday that it is proving to be extremely difficult to close the gap on the liability protections for businesses in this next bill, saying Democrats want to spend a certain amount, Republicans want a completely different amount, and should a final agreement and legislative text emerge on a bill, well, it's expected to include some form of limited legal protections for businesses, for virus-related lawsuits, and $160 billion in state and local government funding, billions of dollars for schools, billions of dollars for vaccine distribution, and a $300 per week boosted enhanced unemployment benefits. The proposal for now, though, doesn't include any sort of direct stimulus checks, but Senator John Thune of South Dakota, the number 2 Republican, suggested that in exchange for removing state and local government aid, a compromise plan could include stimulus checks. They might replace state and local government aid with stimulus checks for the American people. He said you wouldn't be able to get as much as they're talking about. You wouldn't be able to get a massive stimulus check, but it would still be a pretty significant direct payment to the millions of Americans who need support. He went on to say that he thinks there's a whole range of things that both sides can agree on right now, and we ought to do today what we can agree on. And he said later on, once Joe Biden is inaugurated, later into 2021, they could get more money out. But right now, he said direct stimulus checks should be a priority. Ultimately, Senator Josh Hawley said it is good progress that the bipartisan group is considering exchanging these state and local government aid for direct stimulus payments. He said how this should not be difficult. They should be able to get this included fairly easily, and he's hopeful they can get it done before the end of the year. But he said we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Republicans and Democrats in Congress and if they can agree on this. But anyways, that's what's going on with the second stimulus check and second stimulus package as of Saturday, December 12th, 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, you can get 4 free stocks, each valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.